Woohoo! Hello, this is Ryder here to review the Doctor Who 14th Doctor Sonic Screwdriver online exclusive. Obviously, from the three 60th anniversary specials, we have the 14th Doctor's Sonic Screwdriver, to which, obviously, as you can prominently see from here and such, to which, overall, I really like the quality of the boxes for the 60th anniversary stuff. Obviously, as you can see from here, we have Doctor Who 60th anniversary with the lights and sound effects featuring extending and opening the emitter. Obviously, as you can see from here, the name of the set or the item. It's really interesting how it's built. And like again, this I think carries over the same box design as the Power of the Doctor figure set, to which has this white box and such. And then as you can see here, choking hazards and such. And here we have the back of the box, to which has the same bio from the Power of the Doctor set. Tells you how to move the batteries and such, and just shows you a render of the project itself. And it seems like here is the instructions and such. But overall, like the inside of the box too, I really like this helix. Not helix, is like sun, like burning sun kind of thing they're going for, or time vortex, burning vortex. Anyways, let's get it out of the box. So here we have the Sonic out of the box, to which we'll go over its aspects, I guess. That was a weird way of phrasing it, but yeah. So obviously this is the online version. So basically, with that, everything's chromed out and such, so you get a lot of reflections. Woohoo! But despite that, I do really like the design of this one overall. Like, I really do like how technically back to like in the status of New Who, this is back to basics and such. As you know, this does look like something that looks like a Sonic. Like, I never really had an issue with 13s. Like, I thought 13s was interesting, just aesthetic wise, but like. Yeah, like it was different for sure, but like I really do like how the 14th Doctor's Sonic Screwdriver is an amalgamation of basically what worked well within the Sonics and such. Obviously, it mainly is based off of the 9th/10th Doctor's Sonic, with the tempographed crackle design here, to which I feel like I wish the seams were like not as obvious, but just so then the crackle can actually like transition well, because you can tell like it jumps around and such. This side I think is alright up until there, but and down here, obviously, is basically the 11th Doctor's with the stitching and leather handle there, and then with this bottom core piece. And then I think they said up here was basically supposed to represent not 11th, 12ths in a way. But honestly, I just kind of view this as like its own thing and such. It's more. I think I kind of take this as it's basically taking what the 9th and 10th Doctors was with the emitter, and just basically again combine it with the aesthetics of the 11th, because obviously when we slide this here, we do have a manual extender just like the 9th/10th Doctors. I keep putting plurals at the wrong places, but we have these claws now, again, like the 11th Doctors and such. To which I really do like this extended mode and such. I really do like how it works. Obviously, you have to really push it just to make sure it, you know, the claws are out. I really do like how this looks inside and such. And again, I really do like this section, the sections right here and such. And then I think this is a pretty neat part, but you can twist this section for that. He does do that in the specials. I think it sets something off. Excuse me. And then we'll jump to this right away, but you can twist this out and pull it to access the battery compartment, but also to access an additional feature that is only exclusive to the online version as opposed to the retail version. And, you know, there's that. I feel like removing this is kind of the only way to, like, technically reset the friction. Because now this thing is entirely loose. But if you tighten it, then it's like, then you get that quickiness back and such. But anyways, we'll go through the sounds and such, to which you can do them both in non-extended and extended. But before I do that, again, let's just do a size comparison with the previous one, the 13th Doctor Sonic Screwdriver. Obviously, this is the 720 version. The character version is obviously bigger and actually accurate. So I don't know, I might get that one eventually. But obviously, extended, it's obviously it dwarfs it, but I think this is still pretty short and such. Extended, yeah, so this is still like in between and such. With 11 and 12 still being like the biggest. But anyways, we have 5 sounds, to which that is just by pressing the activation button like so. So there we have our scanning sound, to which I really do like that they changed it and such. And we just let go. And I really do like the button sounds. I really like that carried over from 13th. And obviously a new thing about this is that because the activation button is the extender button too, or the slider button, you can still activate it while sliding it. And it does increase the volume because I think the speaker is somewhere around there. But like, I really do like this blue LED and such. It is more difficult to try to keep this activated while sliding it back because it keeps basically lifting itself off and such. But anyways, the second sound by just double tapping it. So it's still basically the scanning sound, but now it pulsates. And then show it in this view. As you can see, it changes colors slightly, which is interesting. And then I'll show the triple tap in extended mode, because I think that's what he did. Again, I really do like the light coordination. And that one actually still is active. And then the fourth tap. Oops. I really do like this one. This one's kind of like a signal calling sound, which is interesting. And then the fifth one, this one's really long, and I genuinely don't know what it is. Like, there's like so much, there's like 2 pauses, and it goes on, It's kind of like a scan. Like again, it's like a Uber scanning sound basically. Yeah. So again, those are the default 5 sounds you get out of this thing, and that's what is in the retail version. To which that is phenomenal. Like it's really cool for Sonic to have 5 diverse of sounds and such. However, obviously this is the online version, so we can access this. We have access to this small, tiny micro button and such. To which what we're going to have to do here is that we're going to have to hold this button and the activation button for a certain amount of seconds to access 3 additional modes. So we want to press both of these buttons down like so, and then we want to hold it for about 3 to 5 seconds. What the heck? We didn't even activate anything. If you want to reset, just hold this down until you hear that beep. And then you want to hold them down, and then again give it 5 seconds, and then let go. So you get 2 beeps, which means you're in the second mode. To which the second mode, you get a green LED, and basically is the standard Sonic scanning sound. And obviously the green LED is very reminiscent of the 11th Doctor's Sonic Screwdriver. I really do like how the green comes out overall and such. And as you can tell, just it's kind of like a delay. I forgot to mention that, which is luckily it wasn't as bothersome. But when I am just genuinely playing around with it, the delay can throw me off and such. But anyways, you have to reset it every time, so you have to just hold this down until it beeps. And then this third mode, or this second mode within this, you have to hold for 5 to 10 seconds. So there we get 3 beeps, to which I'll just show this in extended mode, which this one I don't know how we already accessed. This one we get a yellow LED, and we get the diagnostics mode, which was carried over from the 13th Doctors. I appreciate the yellow LED, I just kind of wish it came out better. Maybe, it comes out better when you don't have lights on you. But you can tell it only is barely spreading and such. And now this last mode. Again, just hold these down like so. And this one you want to hold down for 10 to 15 seconds. Oops. We might have to... Okay, so there we got 4 beeps, to which now, when we activate it, we get a red LED. And is basically just the red. I think this one's just called the red setting. I will say this one's more reminiscent of Classic Who, even though the only Classic Who Sonic is technically the War Doctors. But this is the lower pitch scanning, I think. But again, honestly, any color that's not the blue coming out of this thing is really cool. And it's just because we barely get red coming out of Sonics and such. Again, just to set it back in the neuro mode, just hold this down like so. And yeah. So, overall, what I think about this Sonic is that I think, even though we did cover 12s recently, I really do like the functions of this one. Just in general, I do like that. I think like this one's pretty fun just handling and such as the battery exhausts. I really do enjoy the Sonic's existence of just being an amalgamation again of like previous Sonics and such, of the modern new Who and such. And just again, it's really cool that they actually decided to make new sounds for the Sonic, so then it wasn't just the same thing over and over again and such. And again, with this being the online version, I really do like those 3 additional modes and light features and such. Like, it makes sense as to why that they probably only locked them in the online version as opposed to the retail version, just because the 14th Doctor doesn't do those things in the 3 episodes this is featured in. So, I think it's a really nice, like, additional bonus of like, hey, like, thanks for buying this version. We'll give you more. We'll add more on top of that and such. This is where this is where I kind of had to put down this ruse, because originally, for like my like negatives for this thing, one of the biggest things I was going to bring up was the fact that like I was kind of bothered by like that delayedness and such, or like just how delayed activating the sounds were and such, because you can tell when I let go, it still goes on, and like this disrupts how you get into the additional features and such. Well, if it wasn't obvious enough when I covered the box, I unintentionally got a bootleg. Now, I wouldn't have been so bothered by this if I got it for the price it was originally sold for. So I'm more upset at myself at that as opposed to the product, because for this being a bootleg, it's pretty good. Like, it's kind of interesting to just the current scheme of the bootleg being very close to the actual toys themselves. Because genuinely, this toy, like getting the original like character option version is really difficult to get and very expensive. Because the thing is that, like, as I think I've already said before, I got this thing off of eBay for $48, and it was coming from China. I personally didn't think much of it because I was like, I was like, it's kind of weird that a lot of these are coming from China and such. But I didn't really think much of it because I was like, oh, okay, cool. I at least managed to secure a version of this. But then, like, playing with it, I was like, it's kind of weird that it's delayed. Like, that activating it is very delayed, or just like, one of my biggest things was like, this thing not really aligning to the center, because I thought that was weird, and just, this thing not really being, like, immediately losing its friction and such. And again, just I genuinely thought, like, activating this was like not possible until I figured out how you did it and such. And like, I told someone about my problems. They know who they are, but because he told me like, oh yeah, I got this for like $40 and such, and I was like, well, I had to get it off of eBay for $60. And like, I was telling them about like my flaws or like the issues I was going through with this, and I was like, that's weird. I never had I don't have those issues. And then it was like last month that I just happened that the same channel that I discovered this thing on covered the bootlegs, and like I was hearing small discussions about the bootlegs, but I didn't really look into it until like they pointed out the first thing. Hey, the box. Like, so I had to, like, I was watching it down here. So I immediately ran upstairs to my computer, looked at my footage, and saw the box and the twist ties, and was like, Oh no. So, like, I don't know how to cover this because I just, like, obviously for Sonic Screwdriver enthusiasts, you probably were wondering why I wasn't bringing up the fact that this was a bootleg, but I think it's just because I wanted to basically, I guess, emulate the experience I went through of like, oh, like, you're not really thinking much about this because it's like you're not really thinking much about it because it's just like, oh, cool, like I finally got this thing. And then, like, you don't really think much about the flaws, right? Because it's like, it's an annoyance, but it's like, oh, this is like unfortunate, but like, I'm happy to at least have this. And then like, it really hits you when you realize it's a bootleg. Because the only thing I'm frustrated about is how much I made Draken pay for this. Like, again, it was cheap, but the thing was that these things on AliExpress sell for technically the price that these are supposed to sell for, $30. And like, it's it's unfortunate, but like, I don't know, it could have just been that we didn't get it at all and got this or something. So this is a really good bootleg, and I don't um honestly, if you have to resort into getting a bootleg of this Sonic just to have some form of it, like, I completely activate for that. I don't know how to pronounce it now, because like, I mean, that's honestly a lot of bootlegs as a whole, like, because bootlegs now are kind of resourceful because they're basically cheaper means of getting a more expensive item, like a lot of Ryder CSM products and such. While like there are some gripes about them, they're going to be the best versions of like those belts we have until like an official release. Or in some cases, some items are just going to be utterly impossible to obtain, and they're going to be the cheapest way of getting that item, such like the Evil Trigger and such. But for this Sonic as a whole, like, it's already hard enough to getting the original just because it's really difficult to order from characters or character options website, and like they sold out, and it's just really difficult to already obtaining it. So you are better off getting a bootleg. But I'll just say, if you are like, basically I guess what I'm trying to say is that you should try to be careful of what you order, what you of what you're getting. What if you are searching on eBay for this Sonic and such? Just because I just want, basically, like, don't overpay, or don't order it for like an excessive price. Excessive. I was going to say nefarious and excessive. Um, actually check through like the descriptions and such, because I was basically only looking at what was the cheapest option or what was like the lowest option and such. But I'll just say, if you are going to get the bootleg, don't go to eBay, just go to AliExpress. It's going to come out in the same, it's going to be the same outcome. And if you are going to try to get like, an authentic character option version, good luck. I really hope the 15th Doctor's Sonic is a lot easier to obtain, and I personally can't wait to actually own it. So that would do this review. I'm not gonna label the review as a bootleg, but I'll label the demo as a bootleg. Just to be more discreet and such. But yeah, that'll have to do this review. This is Ryder, and I'll leave you people.